And welcome back to Panther Gym, getting ready for the quarterfinals in the 2A Boys State Championship. I'm TJ Miracle. Dawn Morgan will be joining me here in just a little while. Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing as we get ready for this one. The undefeated Jal Panthers ranked number 2 in the state, and they take on the Texico Wolverines, who come in 8-3. But those 3 losses, well, they're just a little bit deceiving as they lose to Clovis Portales and then split with Pecos. Pecos, by the way, is the number 1 team in the state. Of course, there was some argument that maybe Jal being undefeated should be number 1, but that's not the way that, that the seating committee saw it. So you have to just play who they put in front of you, and that's what the winner of this game will move on to a Wednesday afternoon game. Jal will have the home seat in that one. I know we'll probably be talking more about that one as we move along. Only 3 Lee County teams making the playoffs, the Tatum Lady Coyotes. So up on the other end of the county, we're supposed to have a game tonight. That game was a forfeit from Escalante, as Escalante had a COVID case and could not play that game. So congratulations to Tatum as they will move on to play probably Pecos on Wednesday night. And the time and the place for that are yet to be determined. We'll know all that by, of course, tomorrow morning. Starting lineups for these 2 teams as Texico is in their road greens with the white letters and numbers. Their starting 5 will be number 4, Cade Collins, number 5, Anders Nelson, number 14, David Davalos, number 23, Javen Askew, and number 30, Gabriel Bailey. For the home team, Jal Panthers, they are in the home whites with the blue letters and numbers, Jal in block letters. Across the front, starting 5 for Coach Emmy Lujan's squad that made it 1 year ago to the 2A semifinals. So some experience on this team to pull off of. Jacob Lujan and Nathan Galindo will be getting the start, as will Alexavier Quetillon and Josh Cervantes and Andres Lujan. So that'll be the starting 5 on the floor for your Jal Panthers. So the Panthers, they like to press. They like to run. They like to just wear teams down and wear them out, and that's exactly what they did within their district. In a pretty tough district. The records really didn't reflect how good that district was. Eunice, a little bit of a down year, but they played an awful lot of tough games. Hagerman and Loving also, not complete pushovers. And you had Tatum, too. Of course, Tatum with some injuries earlier in the season, kind of making it a little bid of a different season for the Coyotes. But the Panthers, come into this one, and they are undefeated. And again, they will be taking on the 8-3 Texico Wolverines. This afternoon's game is presented by rights of the New Mexico Activities Association and the Jal Schools. We appreciate them granting the video rights for this game to Walmart Digital Solutions, One Radio Square Sports, and, of course, 103.7 KPZA FM Jal Eunice Hobbs. This game is available free of charge, all over the world on HobbsAmerica.com, at the Jal Sports tab at HobbsAmerica.com, also on the Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel. Of course, live right here on 103.7 KPZA, also on the KPZA app and at the KPZA tab at OneRadiosquare.com, offering free audio of this one, too. So was, talking to Alan Scott earlier today, our voice of the Tatum Coyotes, and Alan has actually seen this Texico team. He said they're a lot like Jal. They like to be physical, they like to run, and they like to just be as tough as they can. They do have quite a bit of size, and so really I'm not sure the Panthers have seen a team quite like this Texico squad this season. But if I know Coach Jimmy Lujan, I have a feeling that he has got a plan, and it's not like the Panthers are little, and they like to run and wear you down, as we mentioned. Let's take another 2-minute timeout, come back and continue. This is Jal Panther Playoff Basketball from New Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports. at the Gym is brought to you by Full Coat Trucking, Panther Energy, the Woolworth Library in the city of Jal. Also brought to you by Outlaw Grill, Lavelle Insurance, and the Jal Schools. Panther Playoff Basketball brought to you by Lasco Construction, IPS, R360, and Excel Energy. So the starting lineups being introduced again for the Panthers. It's Jacob Lujan and Nathan Galindo, Alex Xavier Carrion and Josh Cervantes and Andres Lujan. For the visiting Texico Wolverines, it's number 4, Cade Collins, number 5, Anders Nelson, number 14, David Davalos, number 23, Javen Askew, and number 30, Gabriel Bailey. So the teams, of course, being introduced, as we mentioned, out onto the court. Texico, the visiting team, ranked 7th in the state, but I think a little bit underrated. Just the way that it shook out in the committee room on Saturday, the Jal Panthers are number 2. So the teams have been introduced, and, well, I guess we're just going to go right into it. So, again, great to have you with us. Forgive me if I'm a little bit slow on the score bug and the camera. I am working by myself. Dawn Morgan on assignment. She will be here in just a few minutes. Dawn, do drive safely and carefully. I noticed that the State Patrol was out looking pretty good. So we are going to do the national anthem. We will take a 1-minute timeout, come back with the tip-off. This is Panther Basketball. Back here for the start of this 2A boys quarterfinal game between the Texico Wolverines and the Jal Panthers. I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing. Now in COVID world, of course, no jump ball. It'll be Texico's ball to start. It'll be Bailey to inbound it. He'll toss it into the backcourt to Collins, and we are underway. Into the front court come the Wolverines as they do a little handoff. Try the pick and roll, doesn't work. Give it back to Bailey. Drives to the left side, gives it to Collins. He'll come into the paint, goes right side, tries to go back door to a cutting Davalos, but nobody home, and good defense by the Panthers. And it'll be the first turnover for Texico Panther basketball. Winner moves on to the semifinals on Wednesday afternoon. Panthers hope that it is here as Cervantes drives to the front court and goes in and loses the basketball. A collision under the net, but no call. So it'll go over to Texico. Officially, the two teams trade turnovers on their opening possessions. So it'll be Bailey to inbound it for the Wolverines. Jal in the full court press. He'll get it into Collins. Good pressure in the backcourt by Galindo and by Lujan. Into the front court, they find a man going through, getting it into the right corner for Askew. Pulls up for a 17-footer from the right side, no good. Fight for the rebound, loose underneath, and it'll be controlled by the Panthers. Getting the rebound was Carrion as the Panthers will walk it up front court. It'll be Lujan running the point. Takes it and pop a shot from 7. High off the glass, not going to fall. Fight for the rebound out near center court, and it'll be controlled by Lujan. And a timeout will be taken as an injury on the floor as Andres Lujan up just a little bit gimpy. Certainly hope that he is okay, one of the starters for Coach Lujan. Andres going to go over to the training room. Checking in his place will be Daniel Jones, the senior for the Panthers. So Jones will pull the trigger on the inbound from in front of the scorer's table and get it into the backcourt. Galindo will bring it up. He hands it off to Lujan. Askew on him. Gets a Screen from Kettyon to Jones in the left corner for three, and that one is off the mark. The putback, though, is up and not going to fall by Andres Lujan, and he'll get his own rebound, and he will put it back in, and Jal up 2-0 here early. Full court press is on. They will break it, get into the front court, go underneath to Davalos. He'll put up a shot, and that one will roll home, and the teams trade buckets, and we are tied at 2. Texico drop back in a half-court pressure defense as Galindo to the front court, hands off to Lujan on the far sideline. Brings it over from the right to the left. Shake and bake working against Askew, loses the basketball, and that'll be the turnover for the Panthers. Askew will keep it himself, bring it in. Pops it into the right corner. Thinking about the three is Nelson. He'll work it around to Askew for three, top of the arc. That one is off the mark, and the rebound going to be brought down by Alex Xavier. Kettyon will keep it himself, bring it into the front court, and just leave it off for Galindo. Galindo takes it, goes and kicks it to Jones in the deep left corner. Now he'll throw it out to Galindo. Thinks about the three as he's picked up quickly. 2 dribbles, goes inside, not going to fall, in the rebound by Bailey. Bailey keeps it himself and brings it down. He'll toss it to Askew, who throws it off of one of his own men. So trying the fast break, but they got going a little bit too fast. And each team with 2 turnovers. Tied at 2 apiece, 5:51 to go. As the 2 teams right now just kind of in that feeling out stage. Jones will inbound it to Galindo. Galindo will bring it over the big Panther at center court where he works against Collins. They'll get it over to Lujan. 15-footer no good, and the rebound going to be brought down by Nelson. Full court press for the Panthers. Pardon me, and weaving through traffic to a wide open man. Nobody picked up Davalos, and he's got 4 points in the ballgame. Texico up 4-2. Jal a little bit cold to start to Jones in the front court. Gets a screen. He'll take it around. Get it to Galindo in the right corner. He's picked up by Collins. Top of the arc. Throw it to Jones. Working the baseline on the left side. Brings it out to the left wing. Uses up the dribble. He'll bounce it back to Jacob as Lujan takes it from the left to the right. Goes to the right corner. Will hand off to Galindo. He is picked up almost instantly by Davalos. To Jones. Hippity hop on the left base. Puts up a shot and a fight for the rebound. It'll be tied up. And we'll see which way the possession arrow goes. And I believe the way they're moving, it should be Jal basketball, and it will be Jal ball. So Rogelio Kettyon with the rebound for the Panthers. Or excuse me, that was Alex Xavier Kettyon with the rebound. And he will get the inbound, uses up the dribble and takes an extra step trying to find some help. Picked up the pivot put. That'll be the 3rd turnover for the Panthers. Now subs checking in for Jal as Julie Cervantes comes into the game. Rogelio Kettyon, he will check in this time. And it'll be Texico basketball from left to their own bucket. Inbounding it is Bailey. So Bailey gets it to Askew, and the ball will be stolen away by Cervantes. The teams trade turnovers to Jones. Makes a nifty little move. Bounce pass underneath to a wide open Alex Xavier Kettyon, and he will lay it up and in, and we are tied at 4 apiece. 4:37 to go in the first quarter. Full court press is on. Galindo and Cervantes in the backcourt where they work against Bailey. Bailey finds a little room. He'll throw the fast ball down into the front court to Askew. Askew will work it around, and the ball going to be stolen away. The Panthers on the run as taking it coast to coast and laying it up and in is Galindo, and count the bucket and the foul. He'll go to line for 3 the old-fashioned way. Jal leading 6-4. Nice job on the pressure. And the foul going to be called on Askew. That'll be his first personal and the first team foul on Texico. Nathan Galindo at the line trying to give Jal the 3-point lead. Back and forth as Askew will check out. Checking in his place will be Villarreal for Texico. Galindo at the line. Looking to add the and one. So he'll bend the knees, eye it, sky it. It is up, and it is no good. But the rebound by Kettyon. He'll keep it himself. His putback won't fall, and the rebound brought down by Villarreal. Texico basketball. Down come the Wolverines. Villarreal will keep it himself. Goes to the baseline, loses the handle on the basketball, but manages to take it off of Kettyon. It will stay in the hands of Texico. Checking back into the game, Galindo checks out. Going in his place will be Jacob Lujan, who took a breath on the bench, and now he's back in. 6-4, Jal in the lead. 4:05 to go here in an entertaining and fast-moving first. Inbounding it'll be Nelson from the left baseline. So Nelson will toss it in, get it right back, but he loses the handle on the basketball. That'll be the 5th turnover for Texico. Bringing it down is Lujan, and he is going to get fouled. It will be on the floor. Couple of Wolverines running stride for stride with him down the floor. As we'll move the camera. Sorry about that. I'm doing it all by myself. And the block foul going to be called by Collins, his first personal, and the second team foul. Checking back into the ball game for the Panthers will be Andres Lujan. He is back. Good to see him up and doing good. So Lujan back into the ball game as Jones will inbound to Lujan in the right corner. The 230s work on each other as Lujan to Lujan. As Jacob will keep it himself, get it to Alex Xavier in the paint, put it off the glass, count the bucket and the foul. Rogelio takes it in, and Jal doubling up Texico 8-4 with the point after to come. Foul going to be whistled on Villarreal, his first personal, 3rd team foul. So now it'll be Rogelio Quetillon at the line for the and one. Jal 0 for 1 here in the early going. So Quetillon at the line, his first trip to the stripe, puts up the shot, and that one will be off of the basket, no good, and a couple of Wolverines fight for the basketball, and Davalos will come down with it. Back down as they get it to Collins to Nelson. Nelson will hand it off. Thinking about the 3 is Davalos, and a push foul going to be called on Jal. They're going to whistle that one on Jacob Lujan, his first personal, just the first team foul on Jal. It is on the floor. 3:43 to go here in the first, 8-4, Jal in the lead. 2A quarterfinals as the inbound will come to Collins in the right corner. He'll get it back to Nelson, and they'll work it around to Villarreal. Villarreal goes to the left block, puts up a wild shot. It is off the back of the iron. No good, and the rebound made by Lujan. That's Jacob. As Jacob will leave it off for Lujan, who gets it right back, and then they'll hand it off to Cervantes. Yuli uses up the dribble and into the front court, and the ball is going to be stolen away. 4th turnover for the Panthers. As Nelson will bring it back the other way and gets the ball just absolutely taken away from him by Lujan. I was looking at the wrong roster there momentarily. Back down come the Panthers. Lujan to Jones. Backdoor cut and no good, and they call the charge on Jones. Jones picks up his first personal. That'll be the 2nd team foul, and it's the 5th turnover for the Panthers. So the offensive foul gives the ball back to Texico. Jal leads, though, by a score of 8-4. As checking back into the game will be Galindo for the Panthers and Askew for the Wolverines. So it'll be Bailey to inbound it. Gets it to Askew. Full court press is on for the Panthers. Bailey to the front court, almost loses the basketball. It is loose, and he will somehow get it back as he runs through Nathan Galindo, and he'll get the bucket. He's got all 6 of the points in the books for Texico. 8-6, Jal in the lead. Quetillon uses up the dribble in the deep right corner. He'll get it to Lujan, a 15-footer from the right. Base is good on the bounce. Andres Lujan with 4 points, and Jal gets it right back. 10-6, Askew to the front court. Tosses to Nelson, deep right corner. He'll bounce it back out to Askew, and they'll reset with 2.5 to go here in the first. 10-6, Jal in the lead. Askew will work it from the right to the left. He'll hand it off to Villarreal. He's bumped, no call. Hand it this time to Bailey. Bailey takes it, leaves it for Nelson. Drives to the left block, now into the deep left corner. Bailey for 3. That one no good, on the rebound by Lujan. Jal going to slow it up just a little bit as Lujan will just take a deep breath, and Jal will set up in the half-court offense. 2:04 to go. Controlling will be Galindo. Throws it inside to Quetillon, who puts it high off the glass. No good. Rogelio will get his own rebound. That's his 3rd. And we will have a foul called on the fight for the rebound. Question is it going to be on Nelson or Quetillon? That's the question. It'll be on Quetillon. Rogelio's first personal, 3rd team foul on Jal as he fouls Anders Nelson. 10-6, Jal up by a couple of possessions. As Quetillon going to have to come off. I think when he landed on Nelson, he got a shoe in a not-so-nice place. Cade Figg will check in for Texico. In for the Panthers, back in is Alex Xavier Quetillon. As they move it down with Villarreal, he's going to be fouled on the floor as he drives into the left lane. Jal picking up some fouls here pretty quick. They're going to call the block on Alex Xavier, his first personal, 4th team foul on the Panthers. Coach Lujan kind of shakes his head a little bit. I'm kind of right there with him, but all right. So it'll be Askew to inbound it from the left of the baseline. He'll get it in. That is to Collins. Collins will toss it back out as they work it to Villarreal. And now back to Collins near center court. Works it between the rings. Starts it back the other way to Villarreal. Uses up the dribble. Collins, top of the arc, bounce to Askew. He'll take it on the left base, and he'll put up a little jumper from about 15. And he has his first points of the ball game. Jal coming back the other way. And Lujan to Carrion in the right block. Turnaround jumper from there and rattle it home for Alex Xavier. He's got 4 points in the ball game. And that'll make it 12-8 in favor of the Panthers. And a timeout going to be taken by Coach Cook with 1:18 to go in the first. It's Jal 12, Texico 8. We are back in 30 seconds on 103.7 KPZA.
You're clear.
Thank you. Life good?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
$15, 10, 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Back here at Panther Gym, getting ready for out of the timeout. It'll be Texico basketball. And there is some questions as to whether or not somebody checked into the ball game, I think. But I think they're going to get it all figured out. Yep, Texico, they're waiting on a couple of guys to be allowed to check in at the next stoppage. So it'll be Cade Figg. He will inbound it from under his own basket. He'll get it into Collins. Collins runs through traffic, uses up the dribble, gets it to Askew, takes the right baseline. He'll go all the way right to left into the deep left corner. Hands it off to Villarreal. Uses up the dribble, tosses back to Collins, works between the rings. Sorry, I'll move the camera here. I am on my own for just a few more minutes. Villarreal. He tosses it out to Bender, who just checked in the right corner. Collins to Askew, right wing, 3 on the way, and that one's good. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Askew. First tray of the ball game makes this a 12-11 Jal lead with 43 seconds to go here in the first. To the front court come the Panthers with Lujan. Jump stop. They'll toss it over. Get it to Josh Cervantes, who drives in. Now back out top of the arc for Lujan. It is high off the glass. No good, and the rebound by Villarreal. Texico wants to run. Villarreal to the front court. Tosses, almost loses it. Somehow Askew will save it. Out of the pressure from Lujan and Carrion. Into the right corner with Bender. He'll toss it back out to Askew. Lujan picks him up quickly. 15 seconds remaining here in the first. 12-11. Jal in the lead. Askew works against Lujan. Goes between the legs. Uses up the dribble. Tosses into the right corner for Collins. Collins will leave it off to Bender. Back around to Askew. Lujan going to be on him very tight. He goes for 4. Jal will steal away. 7th turnover. And at the buzzer, it is off the front of the iron. No good. We have played a quarter, and it has been a dandy in the 2A quarterfinals. It's Jal 12, Texico 11. We're back in 1 minute more Panther basketball on 103.7 KPZA. Back here at Panther Gym, start of the second quarter. Jal leads 12-11. It has been a dandy. And into the front court, it'll be Texico basketball on the opening possession. Askew drives it, a little 5-foot jumper, not going to fall. Ball is loose and finally going to be controlled by the Panthers. That is Galindo. Almost stolen away. Keeping it is Cervantes. Cervantes almost losing it again. Needs a little help. He'll get it to Carrion. Under the right side of the basket. Puts up a shot. No good, but he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Going to whistle that one on David Davalos, his first personal, 4th team foul on Texico. So Alex Xavier Carrion, who finished up with 4 points in the first, he'll head to the line to try and add to it. So Carrion at the line, trying to draw first blood for Jal here in the second quarter. Alex Xavier will eye it. Bends the knees, puts up the bucket, and it is good. He's got 5 points, leads the way for the Panthers, and they draw first blood here in the second. Villarreal will check out for Texico. Checking in his place, Cade Collins comes back in. Jal, you got your 5 starters on the floor, and looks like that's what Texico has gone back to. So Ketion made the first. He'll prepare to pull the trigger on the second. Bends the knees, eyes it, skies it, and nothing but the bottom of the net. 14-11, a 3-point lead for the Panthers. Pressure is on to Askew in the front court. Throws it onto the floor. Davalos gets it, and it'll be stolen away by the Panthers. 8th turnover for Jal. Taking it coast to coast is Lujan. The reverse layup, no good. And the rebound going to be fought for, and it'll be controlled by Askew. Back down come the Wolverines, and a layup that's just going to sit there and not going to fall. And a wild fight for the rebound, finally controlled by Bailey. To Askew, top of the arc for 3. That one no good, and the rebound by Ketion. That's his 4th. Ketion will leave it off for Cervantes, and Jal will just take a deep breath. Galindo to the front court where he works against Collins. Picks it up, throws it to Lujan, who gets it into a cutting Ketion. Shot is up, and count the bucket and the foul. Ketion now with 8 points in the ball game. And he'll go to the line for the and one. Going to be a block foul called on Anders Nelson, his first personal. 5th team foul on Texico. The Texico faithful not liking it. I don't think he had the feet set, at least not from my angle. So Ketion at the line where he is 2 of 2 from the stripe. 16-11, Jal in the lead. Ketion bends the knees, puts it up, and it is good. So make it 17-11, a 6-point lead for the Panthers, their biggest of the ball game. There's a reason they are undefeated. And the number 2 team in the state, Texico, probably the most underrated 7 in the history of this tournament. So Cade Collins will bring it into the front court. He'll hand it off to Nelson. Nelson to the free throw line, uses up the dribble. They want the walk. They're not going to get it. He'll get it back out to Collins. He'll put one high off the glass. No good on the rebound by Ketion. His 5th. Ketion tosses to Josh Cervantes, and it'll be Josh who will control the basketball into the front court for the Panthers. He works against Nelson, gets a screen, takes it in himself, goes into the right lane, and the little fingertip roll up and in, and it's 19-11. Jal on a run to start. 8-0 run, as a matter of fact, to start this quarter. Into the front court, it'll be Nelson, leaves it back out for Collins. They'll work to Askew, to the left block. He'll put up a shot. That one won't fall. Ball going to be tipped way out, and it'll be saved eventually and controlled by Texico. Almost losing it. Bailey will save it. He'll swing it near side to Collins. Puts up the 3 ball, and it is good. Cade Collins gets the 3, and we'll get on the board for Texico here in the second quarter. Cervantes and Lujan Galindo. Back to Lujan, into the front court come the Panthers. Back to Lujan, NBA 3, top of the arc. That one is off the mark, but there to clean it up is Lujan, and he will make the bucket. He's got 6 in the ball game. Panthers up 21-14. Full court press is on. 5:22 remaining. And a tip away in front of the scorer's table, as Cervantes got the hand on it from Askew and knocks it out. It'll stay Texico basketball. Of course, the winner of this one goes on to the semifinals on Wednesday. If Jal wins, that game would more than likely be here unless it wound up at a neutral site. 5:15 to go after the inbound. Collins to the front court to Villarreal. Works through, he'll toss it underneath, and too hot to handle, and last touch they're going to say by Ketion. And it'll stay Texico basketball. As inbounding, it'll be Bailey from in front of the Panther bench. 5:08 to go, first half. Inbound to Askew. He'll work it around to Collins on the Panther at center court. Back to Askew in the right wing. 7-point lead for the Panthers. So we hit the 5-minute mark. To Collins. He's picked up quickly by Galindo. Driving in and stolen away by the Panthers. Great hustle move. 9th turnover for Texico. Galindo to the front court where he works on Collins. Collins going to come near side to Jones. Jones to Ketion, almost loses the basketball. They'll toss it back to Galindo in the left corner. High pass and over the head of Jones. That'll be the 6th turnover for Jal. So 4.5 to go, first half. The two teams trade turnovers on their last 2 possessions. So Texico to inbound it. As that'll be Bailey to Collins. Gives it back to Bailey on the far sideline. Jal bringing the pressure in the backcourt. Finally into the front court, trying to give it to Askew, and it'll be a kick ball. Coach Emmy Lujan telling his guys they got to hustle, stay tight on them. It'll be Texico ball on the kick. 4:28 to go here in the first. I'm not sure Texico has seen a team that is quite as intense as Jal. As Andres Lujan will check into the ball game, he'll come in for Alexavier Ketillon. Jacob Lujan also coming in. He'll go in for Galindo. So Lujan. Ethan Sandoval also checking in for the Panthers. Rogelio Ketillon on the floor too. Bailey, Villarreal, Askew, Davalos on the floor. And Collins on the floor, and that one will be stolen away, but stolen right back. The teams trade turnovers, and to Askew, 15-footer from the right base, no good, and trying to get the rebound in. Last touch, no rebound, and last touch by Texico. It'll be Jal Panther basketball. Of course, we'll be with you on Wednesday as preparing to check in is Nelson. Panthers win. We'll be with you Wednesday wherever that game happens to be. Whether it's the friendly confines here at Panther Gym or wherever the neutral side is because of travel restrictions with COVID. It'll be Jones to inbound from the right base. He'll toss it into Lujan. Little pressure put on in the backcourt by Texico. Lujan and Jones just play catch. Lujan to the front court, tosses it. Ketillon will get it, give it to Jones. Goes into the paint, puts up a little hook. Not going to fall on the rebound by Davalos, and Davalos going to get fouled on the floor. Foul going to be called on Jones. A little bit of frustration there. Missing the point-blank shot. His second personal, fifth team foul on the Panthers. It is on the floor. The Panthers still with a couple to give with 4:06 remaining. Sorry, with all the up and down, my mask and my headset are slipping on me just a little bit. Oh, subs checking into the ball game. Out for Texico is Davalos. In is Bender. So bringing in one of their little bit beefier guys. A little bit more presence underneath. Full court press is on for the Panthers. Into the front court, Collins will come, and it'll be off of the knee of Collins, and it'll be a turnover. Great pressure put on by Josh Cervantes. The Panthers have forced Texico into 11 turnovers here in the first half. We are just now at the halfway point. Panthers into the front court with Lujan, trying to get it into Ketillon, but it'll stolen away. 8th turnover for the Panthers to Askew in the front court. He'll take it into the left side, and he will get the roll. Askew has 7 points now for Texico, and another bad pass stolen away. The Panthers now 9 turnovers. Collins through the paint and travels before the foul. 12th turnover on that end. 21-16 the score. Panthers get the basketball back. Evie, I'll get the tie line reconnected as time allows. So into the front court to Ketillon, top of the arc, get it to Cervantes in the left wing. He'll drive it into the paint, and with the left-handed layup, no good, and the rebound going to be brought down by Bender. Bender works it forward. They'll get it to Collins, who pulled the trigger on the three from the left side. That one is off the mark, and bringing down the board is Andres Lujan. That is his 5th, and the ball out off Lujan. 10th turnover for the Panthers. So the team's kind of getting a little bit sloppy right now. It'll be Texico basketball. So Texico basketball with 3:08 to go and a 5-point Panther lead. 21-16 is the score here on 103.7 KPZA FM. Jal, Eunice, Hobbs. Also on OneRadiosSquare.com, the KPZA tab. And Evie, we are reconnected on the tie line. And so Askew to the front court, gets it around to Nelson. Thinks about the three. Now he'll move it near side. Work it around to Collins in the right wing. A screen set by Bender, but Collins is going to be forced out by Lujan. Takes it from between the rings over to the far sideline. Bounce pass going to be stolen away by the Panthers. Great job there by Ketillon. Panther basketball is back down the other way. The Panthers come a-running. Lujan to Lujan. to Cervantes. Takes it to the left base, tosses top of the arc. Now to the right corner for Catillon. To the right block, puts up the 12-footer, not going to fall. Fight for the rebound, it is loose, and Askew will come away with it, his second board. He'll weave his way through traffic, leave it off for Collins in the backcourt. Over to Askew, a little head fake, and they'll work it back to Bender. 2:20 to go to Collins, top of the arc for three. That one off the mark, and the rebound by Jacob Lujan, his third. And timeout taken by Coach Emmy Lujan with 2:15 remaining here in the first half. Jal 21, Texico 16. This is Panther playoff basketball from 103.7 KPZA. And welcome back. This is Jal Panther basketball in the playoffs out of the timeout. I'm TJ Miracle. Dawn Morgan will be joining me here momentarily. It is Jal basketball. They lead 21-16. Out of the Panther timeout into the front court come the Panthers as Galindo will have it. On him very tight is Collins. Little spin move leaves it off for Lujan. He'll move it around from the right to the left. Hand it off to Galindo, who comes near side to Cervantes. Cervantes with it. Still being worked on very hard as they will work it near side and out of bounds. A turnover for the Panthers, their 11th of the ball game. So the Panthers having a little trouble hanging on to the basketball. Over and up. Actually, they're going to call a foul on it, and they're going to call that one on Rogelio Catillon, his second personal and the 16 foul. So the offensive foul being called. 21-16 is the score. The Panthers in the lead as Bender will check out. Checking in his place will be Bailey. As Dawn Morgan joins us at the broadcast location. Hi, Dawn.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I know you were on assignment earlier.
Yes, I was.
So it'll be Texico basketball is into the front court. It'll be Collins. Collins bounce pass to Askew in the deep right side. Cervantes almost picks it off. They'll give it to a cutting Collins. Puts up the circus shot. It'll go off of everybody, and the rebound going to be made by Andres Lujan, his sixth. And then he gets fouled almost immediately. And the foul going to be called on number 14. That's Davalos, his second personal, 6-team foul. So both teams going to be in the bonus on their next foul. And so it'll be Cervantes, to inbound for the Panthers over on the left side. Well, Cervantes will inbound it. He'll bring it into Galindo. Galindo back as Texico with pressure in the backcourt. They'll throw it. Dangerous pass. Catillon with it. Catillon will get it right back in the lane, but the ball is loose on the court, and they will call jump ball. Fortunately, it'll stay in the hands of the Jal Panthers. 21-16 the score. It has turned into kind of a sloppy affair here of late. The Jal still up 21-16, 1:22 to go in the first half. So the inbound from Lujan, high inbound, gets it to Galindo back near the timeline. Collins all the way on that one to the free throw line. Now back over to Lujan. Lujan, jump pass to Cervantes, takes it to the free throw line, uses up the dribble. Now to Jacob Lujan. Jacob to Catillon, who goes into the lane, hippity-hop, but loses the dribble, and he is going to foul as that one gets away from him as he knocks down Bailey. So Catillon, his second personal. That'll be the 7th team foul on Jal. Ball was loose, so there are no free throws involved.
No. And good fight for that. Good hustle. Just, I'm not sure. I would have just called it probably
11,
a loose ball possession.
13 turnovers for Texico, 11 for Jal. Both of these teams, I'm not sure, have seen the intensity of the other, as they are both playing tough. Mentioned it in the pregame show. There is probably not a better 7th seed ever in the state. Collins to the front court to Villarreal, goes in, and he will get the charge. Nice job by Rogelio Carrion, and he will draw the charge on Max Villarreal, his first personal 7th team foul, and the 14th turnover on Texico. So now both teams will be in the bonus with 1:02 to go here in the first half. And coming over and checking on the fouls is the official. I guess he's got it all to his satisfaction. It is Jal Basketball.
Cervantes inbounding.
From left of his own bucket on the baseline for the Panthers.
Looks like he'll get it into Galindo, maybe get it back, run the point.
Full court man pressure going to be on for Texico. They'll get it on, give it right back to Cervantes, near side to Lujan. And a dribble, he'll toss it back to Cervantes, who brings it over and brings it in. No look pass, right corner for Jacob. 3 on the way, and bang! First tray of the ball game for the Jal Panthers, and it's 24-16. Full court press is on. Into the backcourt, Collins uses up the dribble. He'll toss it to Villarreal, far sideline, turns on the Jets, gets it into the offensive zone. Deep left corner for Bailey. His 3 on the way. It's an air ball and into the hands of Cervantes. Cervantes will just slow it up as we've got 30 seconds remaining, first half. Cervantes, he'll go hippity-hop through the lane, leave it off. Lujan, and a foul going to be called before the three-pointer could go away. It is on the floor. Is it on Texico or us? That'll be the question. It is on Texico, and they're going to call the push foul on Villarreal. That'll be his 3rd personal. That should be the 18th foul, and that should put us in the 1-1. It will, as Cervantes will head to the line. Josh Cervantes with 2 points in the ball game will head to the line for the 1-1. Coach Craig Cook. Barking at his players, barking at the officials a little bit too. So Cervantes at the line. Bends the knees, puts up the front end of the 1-1. That one won't fall. Fight for the rebound. It is loose, and finally Askew going to control it. Askew will keep it. Full court press is on. Galindo in the backcourt. Askew a nifty little move to get around him. To the free throw line. No look pass, trying to find a man in the right corner. That was Collins, and knocked away by Galindo. It'll stay Texico basketball. But a nice defensive play. Jal ratcheting up the pressure with 13 seconds to go here in the first half.
Yeah, definitely nice hustle by Galindo.
As they'll give it right back to number 5, Nelson. He'll toss it out top of the arc to Collins. Galindo on him. He goes through the lane, takes about 8 steps.
Steal.
And the steal, that'll be the 15th turnover. Lujan gets the steal, goes coast to coast. His shot up, no good. And the rebound, no rebound, but last touched, I'm going to say by Texico, but we still haven't seen a call. Yep, they're going to say on Texico, so it'll stay Jal ball with under a second to go as they'll get it into Cervantes, and he gets stripped away. No shot at the buzzer. We have played a half from here at Panther Gym. It is the 2A quarterfinals. The Panthers leading 24-16. We're back in 2.5 minutes. This is Panther Playoff Basketball on KPZA. Back here at Panther Gym, 2A quarterfinals. The Jal Panthers taking on the Texico Wolverines. Jal leading 24-16. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing. And taking a look at the numbers in the first half of this one, we will start with the visiting Wolverines. Their leading scorer right now is Javon Askew. He's got 7 points in the ball game. Next up is David Davalos with 6, then Cade Collins with 3 and 7. Yep, I've got the right amount of points there. I had to double check there for a second. So only 3 Wolverines in the book for a total of 16 points. They get 11 in the first, 5 in the second. That's how they get to their 16. They did not go to the free throw line in the first half, turned the ball over 15 times. Leading rebounders Askew and Bailey with 3 apiece as a team, 13 rebounds for the Wolverines. And turning the page for your Jal Panthers, leading scorer in the first half, Alexavier Quetillon. He had 9 points in that first half. 6 points for Andres Lujan, 3 points for Jacob Lujan, then a bucket for Rogelio Quetillon, also a bucket for Josh Cervantes and for Nathan Galindo. Collectively as a team, Jal went 3 of 6, so right at the 500 mark from the charity stripe in the first half. Lujan leads the rebounding. He's got 6. 5 for Alexavier Quetillon, 3 for Rogelio Quetillon, 3 also for Jacob Lujan. Jal winning the rebounding battle as they had 19 boards. I guess you could see the picture of consistency as they got 12 in the first and 12 in the second. That's how they get to their 24. Both teams a lot of time spent in that first half, Dawn, with them really just kind of feeling each other out like heavyweights. Then it seemed like they got a little sloppy as maybe they got a little tired in that first half, and then things started turning back around, and it's been an entertaining game, and a lot of times they've been mirroring what each other does. One will make a bucket, the other will make a bucket. One will make a turnover, the other will make a turnover. One will hit a 3, the other will hit a 3. It's almost been a mirror image of each other. The difference right now is an 8-0 run to start the second quarter for the Panthers.
And a pretty low-scoring game for the Panthers to come into this game with a reputation of run-and-gun basketball, of fast breaks, of just running the legs off of opponents in their undefeated season, so far. It's interesting to me to walk in and to have what I thought would be a really fast-paced game and a much higher scoring game. I figured this looks like a first quarter score and not a halftime score. So it's a very interesting. The shooting, have they been cold? Have they been?
It's been kind of a mixed bag. They'll get hot for a few minutes, cold for a few minutes, hot for a few minutes, cold. They're kind of like the weather. It's hot for a little while, it's cold for a little while.
Turnovers for Jal and for Texico.
11 turnovers for the Panthers and 15 for Texico. Jal has been putting the pressure on them pretty good. And, they've managed, pretty well throughout this whole thing. Of course, the winner of this afternoon's game will go on and will play again on Wednesday. And let me find that one. The winner of this one will take on the winner of Pecos and Escalante. That game getting underway in just a few minutes from Pecos High School. So if it's Escalante, we would have I would think, a neutral site game, since Escalante is basically Colorado.
Yeah, Escalante is way up north.
Pecos is quite a ways up there too, so we would have to see if that falls within the NMA travel distance or if that would have to be a neutral site game. That game, though, no matter what happens, will be on Wednesday. And we maybe have 2 teams playing Pecos on Wednesday, because the Tatum girls may wind up playing Pecos Wednesday too. We'll have to see on that one. Of course, only 3 Lee County teams, as we mentioned, making the playoffs this season, with only 8 teams, a much condensed field with COVID and everything. But still, 3 teams that made it, and we will cover them all for you. We have received permission from the New Mexico Activities Association for the early round games, for the quarterfinals and the semifinals, assuming the schools agree to video stream all the games. Of course, we thank you for watching the Jal Panthers and the Texico Wolverines on the Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel and on the Jal Sports tab at HobbsAmerica.com, and of course listening live on 103.7 KPZA and the KPZA app. This game is presented by rights granted by the New Mexico Activities Association and the Jal Public Schools. The audio by rights submitted and granted by the New Mexico Activities Association, the Jal Public Schools, and the New Mexico Broadcasters Association getting in on the playoff rights granting this year, too. We're proud to be here, though, and we're proud to have you with us.
Well, the Texico team, and now here comes Jal out of the locker. They're coming back out. We got about 2.5 minutes left on the halftime clock, and Jal really has packed the gym. I think they're very proud of this team, as well they should be, and it's a pretty noisy little gym. It's nice to come into some real high spirits. You know, these guys have worked hard all season, and you know, like you say, I think they're testing each other. A pretty well matched team. You know, so far it's certainly not a blowout by any means. Jal's got to be careful, and the complexion of this game and the balance of it could tip back over. So it sounds like they've got to come in this third quarter and take charge. You know, take command and increase their lead, and not take a chance on blowing it.
Well, that will be what they try and do. Of course, Texico going to try and do the same thing. Both teams capable of it. We will take a 60-second timeout, come back with the second half. This is Panther Basketball on 103.7 KPZA. Basketball on 103.7 KPZA with Don Morgan. I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing. Jal leads this one 24-16. The winner will move on to the semifinals on Wednesday evening. Texico will get the ball to start this second half of action. And it looks like it'll be Bailey to inbound. Gonna have the starters Collins, Nelson, Davalos, Askew, and Bailey on the floor. For the Wolverines, for the Panthers, Lujan, Galindo, Quetillon, Cervantes, and Lujan. So into the front court come the Wolverines, as it'll be Nelson. Has the ball almost stolen away. Goes right back into the hands, though, as it'll be Davalos for three. That one going to be off the mark. Jal fights for it, and coming away with it'll be Anders Lujan, his seventh, but he'll turn it right over. Texico comes back with Davalos. He'll give it off to Askew, who lays one up. It won't fall on the rebound. A long one by Lujan. Lujan runs, loses the basketball. There to save it, though, is Cervantes. Cervantes, they try and trap him up. Ball going to be knocked away by Bailey. It'll stay in the hands of the Panthers as Texico has come out a little bit fired up here, Dawn.
Yes, they definitely have, but Jal's come to play as well. These teams are exciting to watch.
Yes, they are, and so the inbound will come into Galindo. He'll take it between the rings, and he'll hand it off. Coming to Lujan, wanted a bump, did not get it. As they'll get it over to Cervantes at the free throw line, picks up the dribble. A dangerous pass, gets it to Andres. Over near side to Alex Xavier. Alex Xavier, right corner, needs a little help. Texico on him tight. He'll find a little room. He'll run and put it up in. Put it up and in, and the score, 11 points for Alex Xavier Quetillon. And the Panthers strike first. They're up by 10, 26-16. Little pressure put on as they'll get it to Collins and knocked away by Quetillon. It'll go out of bounds. It'll stay Texico basketball. Jal trying to stretch it out and feel their oats a little bit. It'll be Texico basketball as Davalos to inbound it from the left baseline. After the great defensive pressure put on by Jal, inbounded Nelson. Takes it to the left base, back to Davalos on the left block, and he'll take it off the glass and in. Davalos has 8 points in the ball game, and he'll go to the line for two. Foul going to be called on Quetillon. He's got to be careful. That's his third personal, first team foul. As Alex Xavier, I think, going to come out. Rogelio going to go in. Yes, he will. And at the line will be Davalos. First trip to the stripe for any of the Wolverines this evening.
And you could just see that foul coming. It was tough to watch that and know that it was going to happen and not be able to reach out there and stop it.
26-18 the score, and the free throw on the way. Make it 26-19. Panthers up by 7. 6:50 remaining here in this third quarter. Cervantes still in the backcourt, but it's stolen away by Askew. Askew will win it. Stolen right back away, though, by the Panthers. That's Cervantes. Little crossover move goes into the paint, and they are going to call the charge on Josh. His first personal, second team foul, and that's the 14th turnover for the Panthers. 14 for Jal, 16 for Texico. Texico almost as many turnovers as points, with 6:37 remaining in the third quarter. So the inbound will come to Askew on the far sideline. He tosses it back, and Lujan is going to steal it away, and he will lay it up and in. Jacob Lujan with 5 points off of the steal. Full court press is on as Galindo and Lujan in the backcourt. They're trying to trap up Collins. They do, and a foul going to be called on the Panthers as they're going to whistle that one on Jacob. His second personal, third team foul. Cal got to be careful. They are racking up the fouls here early in the third.
Yeah, defensive pressure is great, but you need to try to do that cleanly.
6:21 to go. Jal up by 9 as the inbound will come near side to Nelson. He tosses back to Bailey. Getting it forward, they'll get it to Collins. He'll go to the left block, put up a jumper from there, and it is good. Cade Collins now with 5 points in the ball game. And a bad pass somehow saved by Lujan. Near side, the 230s work on each other. Lujan will leave it off for Lujan. Jacob with it now. Cycles to the right elbow, tossing it back to Lujan. Inside to Rogelio. Put it up off the glass and kept the bucket and the foul. Kenyon, his 4th point of the ball game. He'll go to the line for the and one. And they are going to call the push foul on Davalos. That'll be his 3rd personal. Just the first team foul on Texico. And Rogelio at the line for the and one. 0 for 1 in the ball game from the stripe. Jal up 30-21, trying to make it a 10-point lead.
And Texico's coach jawing at the ref just a little bit. Got to be careful there. I wouldn't be surprised if you're getting into T territory.
We've seen enough of that this year. As Kenyon puts up his and one, and it is good. Rogelio 1 for 2 from the line. He's got 5 points in the ball game. Full court press is on. Collins in the backcourt directs traffic to Bailey near side, back to Collins. Still looking for a little room, finally gets it into the offensive zone, almost stolen away by Lujan. As Bailey tries to go underneath to Davalos, who'll get it there, and they will say he stepped on the line, out of bounds, and it'll be Jal Basketball. 18th turnover for Texico. Cervantes to inbound from left of his own bucket. Full court press is on now for the Wolverines. Spin move by Lujan into the front court. Takes it coast to coast, lays it off the glass with a little push shot. No good, and the rebound finally going to be controlled by Bailey, his 4th. Bailey to Collins, gets run over, no call. Takes it to the paint, and he actually ran himself into Cervantes, but they're going to call the foul on Cervantes.
Wow. So Cervantes' legs never moved, and his arms were up.
That'll be the second personal on Josh. 4th team foul on the Panthers. It is on the floor. David Davalos will inbound it for Texico, so Jones going to check in. He'll go in for Cervantes, and now they're going to say it'll be Nelson to inbound. So Nelson from left of his own bucket gets it into Davalos, gets it right back. Toss it out top of the arc to Collins. Goes hippity-hop through the lane, puts up a shot, no good on the rebound by Jones, his 1st. Daniel will keep it himself, then leave it off for Jacob Lujan. Jacob to the front court, right up on the Panther. Picks up the dribble and tries a pass and goes right into the hands of Coach Lujan. And Coach Lujan saying it went off the back of the head of Collins. The man in stripes didn't see it that way. It'll be the 15th turnover for the Panthers. Coach Lujan out imploring his guys, pressure, pressure, pressure. 5:09 remaining in the third. Jal up 31-21, a 10-point lead for the Panthers. Checking into the ball game is Villarreal for Texico. He'll toss into the backcourt for Collins. Also checking into the ball game will be Bender. Stolen away by Galindo, but they're going to say Galindo got the shoulder into Collins. So trying to get the steal. First personal on Nathan. That's the 5th team foul on Jal. So they are in a bit of a foul fest here in the early part of the third. Still 5 minutes to go in the third. And they've just got 1 foul left to give before it put Texico in the bonus.
Jal's faithful not liking that call. You could hear the boos in the background.
You do not want to make this a free throw shooting contest. I think that is Probably not what the Panthers want. A nice play by Jones to knock it away, trying to pass into the corner. It'll stay Texico basketball. Lujan checks out. Ethan Sandoval will check in for the Panthers.
A good hustle. Jal definitely very quick.
So Nelson to inbound it from in front of the fans on the far side. Get it to Villarreal. He travels going through the lane. No call. Puts up a shot. No good. And last touch by Davalos. It'll be Jal basketball.
That's great because my eye was seeing last touch by Lujan, so I'll gladly go with the ref on this one.
And so Lujan will inbound it. That's Andres. Gets it into Galindo. Galindo holding off a man. They'll get it to Sandoval in the right corner. Back to Galindo. Galindo to the right wing. Long cross court pass Jones. Left corner. 3 on the way. And bang! Daniel Jones drains the tray. 34-21. 13-point lead for the Panthers. Biggest of the ball game, and knocked away on the inbound by Galindo. Trying to grab it before it could get into the hands of Texico. And checking back into the game will be Bender. Also coming back in will be Bailey.
This is exactly what Jal needs to do, force some turnovers and create a little more room on the scoreboard between them and Texico.
That is what you want to do. Texico has had heck with Jal's pressure. The inbound to Collins. He'll bounce it over to Villarreal. He has trouble corralling it. Gives it back to Collins. Underneath and to Bailey. High off the glass. Not going to fall. And it will fall into the hands of the Panthers. That'll be the 8th rebound for Lujan. Andres Lujan. Lujan leaves it off for Galindo. Brings it up over the Panthers center court. To the right wing. Gets a little screen from Sandoval. Uses up the dribble in the right corner. Back to Lujan as Andres works around Bender. Tossing over to Jones. Jones jump stop. And hands it off to Sandoval as he will back it up. Ethan under some pressure from Villarreal will hand it off to Andres near side in front of the scorer's table. Brings it back. Jal just going to run the offense. Galindo as Coach Emmy Lujan barking out where he wants him. And a timeout going to be taken by Coach Lujan. So with 3:44 remaining in the third quarter, it's Jal 34, Texico 21. We're back in 30 on 103.7 KPZA. Out of the Panther timeout, it'll be Jal basketball as inbounding it from the near sideline will be Josh Cervantes from just left of his own bench. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing. Thanks for being with us tonight on 103.7 KPZA FM. Jal, Eunice, Hobbs. Now the inbound from Cervantes, he'll get it into Sandoval near the timeline. Near side, he works against Askew, hands it off. Lujan Jacob with a little bit of trouble, but he'll keep it. Jacob goes in. They'll get it to Cervantes. Left corner for 3. That one too hard off the iron. And the rebound brought down by Collins, his first. Collins to Askew. Pulls the trigger into the front court. And they are going to call a tic-tac foul on Cervantes.
Whoa.
And they're going to call the block foul on Cervantes. That'll be the third personal on Josh. And Jal is now out of fouls to give with 3:25 remaining here in the third quarter. They have gotten in foul trouble here early. So it is on the floor as Andres Lujan will check into the ball game. He'll go in for Cervantes. Andres will check in. Cervantes has to come out. And so the inbound will come from Nelson in front of the Jal fans on the far side. Nelson, little turnaround jumper. That was pretty. Credit where credit is due. First points of the ball game for Nelson. 34-23, an 11-point Jal lead. We click down towards 3 minutes to go. Lujan to Jones. Jones works against Nelson. He'll toss it out to Lujan. Get it to Kettione underneath. Put up the shot, and they wave that off, and they actually say lane violation on the Panthers. I never heard the whistle, but that'll wind up being the 16th turnover on Jal on the lane violation.
I think we couldn't hear the whistle because the Texico crowd was busy counting it off.
I think they were. As they bounce passes, they'll get it to Collins. He drives in. The left-handed push shot, no good on the layup and out of bounds as Kettione gets a hand on it. It'll go out of bounds before anybody else can get to it. So it'll stay Texico basketball. You just get the feeling maybe we're in the danger part of the game. Jal can't let their foot off the gas.
They've got to keep that pressure on.
Bailey at the free going to say somehow Lujan got a hand on it. Emmy Lujan is not happy about it. Jacob, as I think, asking politely if I touched it. And now a couple of the officials are talking to the right of the bucket. And they're going to change the call. It's Jal Basketball. It didn't look like the Panthers had touched it, but I will always defer to the men and women in stripes because they're down there closer to it. So Galindo will come into the ball game for Sandoval, seeing some quality minutes. 2:50 remaining here in the third period. Jones to inbound. He'll bounce it into Lujan. Full court pressure on by Texico. Lujan to the front court, gets pushed, no call, picks up his dribble in the left elbow. Get it to Galindo to the right elbow and toss it out and almost into the backcourt. Jones will save it before it can go back, but he uses up the dribble. He'll need some help. He'll get it from Galindo, who comes back in front of the scorer's table, long cross-court pass. Galindo works against Askew. They'll work it around to Lujan. Andres will cycle it left to right, get it to Jacob, top of the arc for three. That one too hard, off the iron, and the rebound going to be made by Jones, his second, and he'll be fouled. It'll be on the floor. It'll stay Jal Basketball.
Yeah, that was an excellent rebound by Jones, man. He really had to put some ups on there to get it, but he fought for that.
Hack foul going to be called on Bailey, his first personal, just the second team foul on Texico in the half. 2:22 to go. Jal up 34-23. Into the front court, Galindo out of the inbound. Hands it off to Jones, gets bumped. He'll take it into the right corner. Lujan has trouble handling the basketball. On him very tight is Villarreal. Tries a pass. Villarreal will knock it away and out of bounds on the right base.
Texico playing some excellent tight defense here.
Yes, they are.
It's really kind of giving Jal the fits, and they're quick, and they're capable of good pressure themselves.
Yes, they are. As Lujan, he will toss it high, get it to Galindo, back between the rings. He'll cycle it to the right block, give it off to Jones. Picking him up quickly is Fig. They'll toss it around. Lujan to Lujan. At the free throw line, now into the right corner, Galindo. Askew picks him up very quickly. Now they'll hand it to Andres, who loses the ball, and I think if he doesn't try and save that one, it's Jal Basketball. Instead, it's turnover number 17 for the Panthers.
Yeah, it's hard to fight that impulse, though, to reach out and try to grab it.
Yes, it is. 1:55 remaining in the third as Askew will get the inbound from Bailey in the backcourt. He'll take it across the Panther at center court. Starts it over onto the right side. He'll dump it off for Fig. Fig has the ball knocked away from him. That'll be the 19th turnover for Texico.
Nice hustle.
Great hustle by the Panthers. Lujan to the front court. Gives it to Lujan. Jacob controls. Tosses out to Jones. Left corner for three. That one is going to be short. And the rebound made by Villarreal. Villarreal to Askew, who will keep it himself. Into the front court come the Wolverines. He'll take it into the paint, and he is going to be blocked by Lujan, but into the hands of Bailey, who's partially blocked by Kenyon, but they're going to say that Kenyon got the hand. And so 42, Kenyon, that was Rogelio's third personal, 7th team foul, and that puts Texico in the bonus for the last 9:22 of this ball game. That is dangerous. Again, you don't want to make this a free throw shooting contest, and that's kind of just what Jal has given Texico the opportunity to do. Because now every time there's a foul, the clock stops and they can head to the line.
Right.
Bailey, his first trip to the stripe, puts up the first and misses it. No, misses the first. They're going to say he was in the act of shooting. I thought maybe it was a 1-and-1, but it is a 2-shot foul. So misses the first, he'll eye the second. Bailey with 4 rebounds is yet to get in the scorebook, puts up the second. And that one is going to be too hard off the iron. The rebound going to be made by Lujan. That's his 9th. Lujan leaves it off for Jones, who gives it over to Galindo. He'll bring it into the front court across the timeline. Jones with Fig on him. Daniel picks up the dribble, hands off to Andres. He'll cycle it from the left to the right, give it off to Galindo in front of the Jal bench. Askew picks him up quickly, gets a screen from Kenyon. Picks up the dribble again, top of the arc. Lujan to the free throw line, puts up the jumper from there and rolls it home. 7 points for Jacob Lujan, and Jal goes up 36-23, a 13-point lead. Askew, as the defense chance starts on the Jal faithful. To Bailey, to Villarreal on the left base, puts up the left-hand floater, not going to fall, but the rebound made by, that is Davalos, his 3rd rebound, and he'll go to the line for 2. Again, Jal in foul trouble as they call the hack on Rogelio. That's his 4th personal, 8-team foul on the Panthers.
And he's going to have to come out, you would think.
Yeah, he's going to, as he's going over and he's talking to Coach Lujan and telling him, this is what I did, Coach. And Coach Lujan telling him, yeah, this is what you got to do. Just stick them straight up. You can't even move that arm. As Davalos will put up the first, it is good. David Davalos 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He's got 9 points in the ball game. Actually, check that, make it 10. He's got double figures. He is the leading scorer for Texico. Davalos made the first, eyes the second, puts it up, and he gets them both. 36-25. Jal in the lead. A bad pass somehow saved by Galindo to Lujan. Lujan to Lujan Andrus, and gets the ball knocked away from him from behind by Villarreal. Jal Basketball, 31.1 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Winner of this game moves on into the 2A semis on Wednesday night. Lujan to the backcourt. He'll inbound it to Galindo. Villarreal will pick him up right at the timeline. Galindo uses up the dribble, tosses to Lujan. Lujan to Lujan, 18-footer from the right corner, no good. And the rebound going to be made by Jones. Jones on the fadeaway, can't get the ball to fall. Mad scramble for it, and finally into the hands of Askew. Back down come the Wolverines. Askew from the free throw line. His jumper won't fall, but it'll be Davalos with the rebound. And they're going to call a hold foul on Jal as they call the hold on Jacob. His third personal, 19 foul. And so Texico, with 5 seconds to go again, can turn this into a free throw shooting contest. Jal fouling all over the place. The Jal faithful not liking it one bit. Davalos a perfect 3 of 3 from the line. On the flip side of things, the Texico faithful really liking it.
Yeah, and if you're going to foul somebody, Davalos not the guy you want to foul.
Nope, as he gets the front end of the 1-and-1, so now he'll shoot 2. And of note, that was the 19th foul, so Texico on the next one will be in the double bonus, shooting 2 the rest of the ball game.
And they've shaved Jal's lead down to 10.
36-26, closest it's been this quarter. Second shot on the way for Davalos, and he misses that one, but it'll come into the hands of Fig, and he'll toss it out to Davalos for 3 on the way, and Ketillon with the rebound at the buzzer. We head to the fourth. The Jal Panthers 8 minutes away from punching their ticket back into the 2A semifinals. They lead Texico 36-26. We're back in a minute on 103.7 KPZA. Panther basketball as we start the fourth quarter. Jal leading by 10, 36-26 with Dawn Morgan on TJ Miracle, and almost a backcourt violation somehow saved. Into the front court, Lujan to Ketillon. Ketillon to Cervantes, and right through the lane, and misses the point-blank layup, and the 5th rebound for Davalos. And running back the other way, it'll be the Wolverines to Nelson in the paint. Puts up the hook, no good, but gets his own rebound. His putback won't fall. Fight for the rebound and into the hands of Davalos. It won't fall. How is that not a foul? The other way, I don't know, and coming away with it is Cervantes, but a foul going to be called. And nope, they're going to say Cervantes stepped on the end line, so now 18 turnovers for the Panthers. So Davalos with it.
I don't know how that wasn't a jump ball either.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just going to say it was he stepped on the line after he had control, so we'll go with that. So they'll hand it off to Nelson, who gets popped in the face, and he will head to the line for 2. And they're going to call that one on Galindo. That'll be Nathan's second personal, 10th team foul on Jal.
It really was the basketball that got him in the face. The body, his body did not touch him. It was the basketball that bounced in his face.
So either way, though, he will head to the line for 2. Anders Nelson, 2 points in the books. 7:24 remaining, and a 10-point lead. And the first is up and no good. I'm assuming that was no good, right?
Right.
Okay. I had looked down for
Yeah,
just a minute to
bounced
adjust
off
my mask.
Bounced off the right.
Second one is up, and that one is not going to fall, but into the hands of Villarreal. We just can't buy a break right now, and another foul going to be called. Or was it just out of bounds? They're going to say just out of bounds. Thank goodness.
It bounced off a Jal player. Actually, number 5, he bounced it off of a.
So it'll be inbounding. It'll be Nelson, number 5. And Nelson he got it in at 4 4/10. As Nelson will get it back, they'll start cycling around with Bailey. Bailey to the top of the arc, runs over. Should have been an offensive foul. Head fake by Nelson. Goes to the left base, uses up the dribble, and just taking it away from him is Cervantes. But Cervantes losing it immediately back. Gets it to Villarreal, who runs over, and they will call the charge foul on Villarreal. The Texico faithful not liking it. Villarreal, that'll be his 4th personal. That'll be the 21st turnover on Texico.
Carrion got his feet set just in time by about half a second.
And Coach Craig Cook yelled something that I'm pretty sure if the official had chosen to hear it would have gotten him teed up. He was not happy about that. And the fastball down to Carrion. Lay it up off the left glass with the left hand. Alexander Carrion with 13 leads the Panthers. 38-26, Panthers in the lead. 6:45 to go to the front court. And they are going to call the block foul on Cervantes. That'll be his 4th personal. And so Texico, we mentioned it, they can make this a free throw shooting contest. They're 4 of 7 from the line. But every time a foul happens, it stops the clock. So that's something the Panthers have to be aware of. You don't want to just let them run free, but something to think about. So Collins goes to the stripe. It'll be his first trip to the line tonight. He's got 5 points. So Collins will bend the knees, puts up the first, and it is good. He's got 6 for Texico. Daniel Jones will check into the ball game. He'll go in for Cervantes. And Askew going in for the Wolverines. Been an entertaining ball game, a low-scoring affair, but an entertaining one. 38-27, Jal in the lead, second on the way, and that one is going to be in and out. The rebound by Jones.
Nice
Jones,
rebound.
That's his
reaching up and
4th.
grabbing it. Yeah.
Lujan to Carrion. Alex Xavier gives it to Jones, cutting
great
through the lane and up and in on the give and go.
Yeah.
5 points for Daniel Jones. 40-27, back up to a 13-point lead for the Panthers. As into the front court comes Collins. As Askew will get it. Lujan on him. Now they'll just cycle it out to Bailey. Back to Askew near side now into the corner with Collins, who's trying, I don't think, to do anything but get the foul. As they are going to call the double dribble on, or the palm ball rather, on Texico, and on number 4 as Coach Cook comes over and he's barking at the. And the ref, is Coach Cook imitating what he thought he saw, and the ref said, yeah, well, that was your guy.
Collins was leaning hard into Lujan trying to draw the foul.
And timeout is going to be taken with 6:11 to go as Coach Cook and Coach Lujan both having problems. They're going to cycle their team up. We'll take it with them. 6:11 to go in the ball game. It's Jal 40, Texico 27. We're back in 30 on 103.7 KPZA. Back here at Panther Gymnasium out of the timeout. Panthers leading by 13, 40-27. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing. Big thanks tonight to Full Code Trucking and Panther Energy. Also the Woolworth Community Library in the city of Jal. The Outlaw Grill and Lavelle Insurance. Jal Schools and Lasco Construction. IPS and R360 and Excel Energy. Making Panther playoff basketball possible here on 103.7 KPZA. And also around the world on YouTube, on the Lee County News and Sports channel, and also on the Jal tab at HobbsAmerica.com. Lujan off the inbound, takes it in and pops the shot from 10. It's good. He's got 9.
Nice little floater. Beautiful. Nothing but net on it.
Jal up by 15, their biggest lead of the ball game. To the front court, Askew will bring it for Texico. He'll hand it off to Nelson. Nelson works against Jones. Back out to Askew. Bobbles for just a moment. 3-point shot. It's good. He's got 9. Nice little floater. Beautiful. Nothing but net on it. Jal up by 15, their biggest lead of the ball game. To the front court, Askew will bring it for Texico. He'll hand it off to Nelson. Nelson works against Jones. Back out to Askew. Bobbles for just a moment. which is all Jal needed to get around. Now to Collins, drives right base, puts up a little push from 5, no good. Going to wind up with his own rebound, and Hill's put back won't fall as he gets it to Davalos, and the ball will go out of bounds.
Oh.
Last touched by Jones as he was fighting for it with Bailey.
Yeah, and really, Jones just lost his balance, but I don't think Bailey caused him to fall, but
as Fig will check in for Bailey. Inbounding, it'll be Nelson from left of the bucket on the base. Gets it into Davalos, who takes it to the left wing, now into the corner. Nelson for 3, left side, in and out, and fight for the rebound, and Askew gets it and saves it, but he'll save it right into the hands of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, nice rebound with Jones. Good heads-up basketball there underneath.
And so a little bit of pressure from Texico. Galindo to the front court, get it to Lujan. Pop a shot from 15 on the left base, won't fall, and nobody underneath. Good block out by Collins, who gets his 3rd rebound of the ball game. 5 minutes remaining in a 15-point Panther lead, 42-27. Askew almost loses the basketball. He'll get it to Collins. He'll drive in. Nifty little move, puts up the shot, no good. And the rebound finally going to be controlled by Nelson. That's his 4th. Nelson from the right block puts up a shot there, and it is off the iron, and the rebound into the hands of Jacob Lujan. For Lujan, that's his 5th.
And really, Jal is in a position to do exactly what they're doing right now. Slow it down just a little bit, maintain, hold on to the basketball.
Lujan to Galindo in front of the Panther bench near side. Collins works on Galindo as Nathan takes it to the left. Handed off to Jones, bounces it, almost loses it, gets it to Lujan. He'll put up a floater from 7, no good. And the ball will go off of, with a good play by Davalos, good heads-up play to bounce it off of Lujan and give it back to Texico.
Right. I think if I were Jal, I would have burned a little more time off the clock on that possession. Just make Texico come to them. And a timeout taken on the floor with 4:23 remaining in the ball game. It's Jal 42, Texico 27. We're back in a minute on 103.7 KPZA. It'll be Collins bringing it into the front court out of the timeout. As to Askew, he picks it up to Davalos. Right wing, 3 on the way, NBA distance, no good. And the rebound is going to be off of a whistle sounds. As they're going to say Jal Basketball, as saving it was Josh Cervantes. Good hustle play by Cervantes to bounce that one off of Bender. So the Panthers will get it back up by 15. We click down towards the halfway portion of this 4th quarter. Texico has got to find some offensive firepower. Jal needs to burn some clock. Up by 15, the handoff to Sandoval in front of the bench. He gets mugged, and as it'll be Nelson picks up his 2nd. Texaco still with plenty of fouls to give, though. That's just their 4th team foul. I had it as their 3rd. It's their 4th, according to the scoreboard. 42-27, Jal leads with 4 minutes left to play in this one.
Cervantes from the near side tosses to Galindo in the backcourt. Picking him up quickly is Collins as Nathan brings it to the front court. Hands it off to Sandoval. They try and trap him up. Somehow he gets it away, and the ball is loose, and a mad scramble for it, and it'll be controlled by Texico to Davalos in the right lane. In 14 points for David Davalos. The Panthers cannot afford to let him have free run. To Cervantes, to Carillon. Carillon to the front court, slips, loses the ball off of his foot, out of bounds, and the Panthers all of a sudden can't hang on to the basketball. They've got 21 turnovers. Score 42-29, 3:21 remaining in the ball, 3:31, remaining in the ball game. Going to check out and then check back in as he will go in for Sandoval. Andres Lujan waiting to check back in too.
Jal needs to just cool things down a little bit,
He'll go in.
maintain their composure here, focus.
He'll go in for Ketillon. Cervantes, Ketillon, Lujan, and Galindo on the floor for the Panthers. It's the starting five. Collins will bring it across the timeline for the Wolverines to Askew and on the far sideline. Back out between the rings, just holding it is Collins. 3 minutes, 18 seconds to go to Askew at the free throw line. Bounce over to Villarreal. Left wing back to Askew, top of the arc. Now to Davalos in the left base. Splits two Panthers and gets the bucket and the foul. Davalos now with 16 points in the ball game, and he'll go to the line for the and one. Foul going to be called on Andrus, his first personal. And it'll go as an and one as Andrus will check out.
You don't want to let Texico rattle you and start chipping even further into the lead.
Davalos 4 of 5 from the line, puts it up. That one's no good on the rebound. Going to be brought down by Alex Xavier. That's Ketillon's sixth rebound. To Lujan. Tosses it and stolen away. Yes, no, and nope. It'll be a turnover. Almost stolen away and winds up skittering out of bounds. Now both teams with 22 turnovers. 42-31. This one far from over with just under 3 minutes, I should say, remaining on the game clock. So it'll be Nelson to Collins to Villarreal in the front court. Work it back around. Collins towards the top of the key. He'll get it to Askew on the far sideline. Ketillon will come out and pick him up. Askew starts his run, goes into the paint, puts up a shot, no good on the rebound. Going to be brought down by Carrion. For Alex Xavier, that's his seventh. Long, dangerous cross-court pass to Lujan, who gets it. Splits through two Wolverines. Now he's just going to burn some clock off. To Galindo near side where he works on Collins. Ooh, that was very close to a double dribble. 3 on the way for Lujan. And bang! Andrus Lujan has the tray. He's got 9. 45-31. Back up to a 14-point Panther lead. 2:15 to go in the ball game. As they'll get it to Davalos. 15-footer from the right base. Not going to fall on the rebound by Lujan as it kissed the glass. Lujan crosses over as he crosses the timeline. Picks up the dribble. Now we'll get it to Galindo. 2 minutes left to go on the clock. To Ketillon, and Ketillon going to get fouled as Lujan going over to set the screen. They're going to whistle that one on Davalos. His fourth personal. 5th team foul on Texico. So it'll stay Jal Basketball. Inbounding from the near sideline will be Josh Cervantes.
Right in front of their bench.
Yes, he will. So Cervantes will toss it into the backcourt to Galindo. 1:55 remaining in the ballgame. Bounce it back to Cervantes. Toss it, try and get it inside to Ketillon. He'll somehow get to it through a sea of Panthers. Ketillon to the left baseline. Gets it over to Andrus. He'll go through the paint and be fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. First trip to the line in the second half for the Panthers. And the foul going to be whistled on Collins, his second personal, 6th team foul. And no, I take that back. We did have an and one back in the third quarter. So Andrus Lujan at the line. It is his first trip to the stripe this afternoon, evening, whatever we're getting into, evening time. So we click towards 7 o'clock. Andrus's first is up and no good. So he's still got 9 points. Thanks for listening on 103.7 KPZA FM. Jal, Eunice, Hobbs. Also on the 103.7 KPZA app and watching the Jal Sports tab at HobbsAmerica.com. So Lujan Fig for the rebound. So to the front court with Villarreal. Toss it to Davalos on the right base, and he is going to be blocked out, but it'll go into the hands of Bailey, who puts it high off the glass. Fight for the rebound underneath the basket, and coming up with it is Davalos, who will get it up and in. Davalos has been the biggest Panther killer of them all tonight. To Lujan through the pressure, and he falls to the court, loses the basketball. That's the 23rd turnover for the Panthers. Back down with Bailey, banks it off the glass, and it's good. Bailey's first points of the ball game, and timeout taken by Coach Lujan. 1:12 remaining. It's a 10-point Panther lead, 45-35. We're back in a minute on 103.7 KPZA. have not gone anywhere. Apologize about the quick audio hiccup on the stream there. Second shot for Lujan is up. That one no good, but he'll wind up with his own rebound. So Jal with it. They need to foul and foul quickly, and finally they will. Will it be on Bailey or Nelson? That's the question, but he ran another 4 seconds off of the clock. They will call that one on Nelson. And so back to the line for Lujan, and a 7-point lead for the Panthers, 47-40.
Well, these teams have certainly given us an exciting game. We're going right down to the final seconds.
And so the front end of the 1-and-1, no good, but the rebound going to be brought down by Cervantes, his third, but it'll be stolen away. Coming back down is Nelson with 6, with 5, pushes over to Villarreal. Diving for it is Lujan, and into the bench of the Texico Wolverines, out of bounds. 4 seconds to go. It is just about in the books for the Jal Panthers, as the Panther student section starts to start the bus, as Rogelio Kenyon knocks it away on the inbound intended for Nelson. So they'll just move it from in front of the bench to down to the other end of the bench for the Texico Wolverines, who definitely came to play. Much better than their 7th seed implied. Just the way the seeding fell, as they'll get it to Davalos, left wing, 3 at the buzzer, and a shot up, no good. And the Jal Panthers are victorious. Our final, Jal 47, Texico 40. The Panthers move on to the 2A semifinals on Wednesday. We'll take a 2.5-minute timeout, come back and wrap this one up. This is Panther Playoff Basketball from KPZA. Welcome back to your Panther pregame show on 103.7 KPZA FM. Jal Eunice Hobbs, also on the Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel and on the Jal Sports tab at hobbsamerica.com.
Let's not play this one again. Let's do the postgame, not the pregame. What do you say?
It's been a long. It has been an
It's been a
extremely long day.
Very long day and a long game, and you had this all by yourself for almost the first half. So
let's take a quick look at the numbers. We'll just hit the highlights for the Wolverines, who came out and they went down swinging 47-40 the final. Their leading scorer, and actually the leading scorer in the whole game, was David Davalos with 18 points in the ball game. He was their only double-digit scorer. He was also their leading rebounder with 8 in the ball game. 31 rebounds as a team for Texico. They really cleaned up the turnovers, 22 turnovers in the game. They did win that battle. Only went 7 of 14 from the free throw line and scored 14 points in that fourth quarter. That was their biggest quarter of the ball game. For the Jal Panthers, 2 Panthers in double digits. Xavier Carrion with 13 points in the ball game. 10 points for Jacob Lujan, 9 for Andres Lujan. Then you had 6 in the books for Daniel Jones, 5 for Rogelio Carrion, and then a bucket for Josh Cervantes and a bucket for Nathan Galindo. Leading rebounder was Andres Lujan. He had 9. Carrion Xavier right behind him with 8. 38 rebounds as a team for the Panthers. They got a little sloppy at the end, wound up turning the ball over 25 times in the ball game. Just slightly better than 50-50 from the free throw line. 6 of 13. Scored 12 in the first, 12 in the second, 12 in the third, and 11 in the fourth. I was hoping they'd get one more point, so it'd be 12s all the way across that stat line. So the Panthers will improve to 13-0 and await now the winner of the Pecos and Escalante game, which is going on right now in Pecos. Of course, if it winds up being Escalante, it will be a neutral site game. Probably with Pecos going to wind up being a neutral site game too on Wednesday evening. We'll know more about that hopefully tomorrow. So
both of those destinations are several hours drive away.
Yes. So we will see what they come up with on that. But, of course, we will let you know. So Lee County gets off the Tatum Lady Coyotes, winning by forfeit with a COVID case. And then Jal moving on with a hard-fought 47-40 victory over the Texico Wolverines. So final thoughts on this one, Dawn, before they start unplugging us and throwing us out.
Yeah, just quickly, congratulations to the Jal Panthers. Nice game. It was tense. You like that? Kind of a nail-biter, edge of the seat. Good play, exciting stuff. And let's hope, Wednesday, they're definitely going to need to bring that quickness, that sharpness, and get ready for hopefully another victory and move on to the state championship.
Definitely what you want to see. And with that, my friends, we will put a wrap on this one. The Jal Panthers came in and battled with the Texico Wolverines. The Panthers' season continues in the 2A semifinals. Jal Panther playoff basketball on 103.7 KPZA has proudly been presented by Full Coat Trucking and Panther Energy, the Woolworth Community Library in the city of Jal, the Outlaw Grill and Lavelle Insurance. Panther playoff basketball also brought to you by the Jal Schools and Lasco Construction, IPS Incorporated, R360, and Excel Energy. For Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing for Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle saying so long from Panther Gym. This has been an exclusive presentation of Walmart Digital Solutions and One Radio Square Sports. Have a great night, everybody.